Streaming cyberspace into your place, sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen from South Boston Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Gargamel's Kitchen Late Model Invitational Series Season 23. Finding the missing link, discovering life away from Earth, cold fusion. 3 things that have not happened yet. And added to that list, the BRL Perfect Season. But with the midway point of Season 23 now come and gone, the possibility of that perfect season has turned from laughable lark to a legitimate possibility thanks to the efforts of 16-time late model champ J.R. Shepherd. With 6 wins notched on Shepherd's belt, the question is there enough leather to fit 5 more? The news of Shepherd's assault on history has spread throughout the sim racing community like rumors at an all-girl Catholic high school. Motivated by pride, BLLers of the past and present have been rearranging their personal schedule to afford them the opportunity to put an end to the madness that has been Shepherd's season so far. So pull the lever on the lazy boy and settle in to see if the competitors can indeed lobotomize the insanity that has been J.R. Shepherd's invincibility, the excitement of some simulated short track racing action, and the quest to make Bootleg Racing League history is about to stream your way. From the state where it's illegal to tickle a woman, a warm Virginia tickle-free hello and welcome on this Saturday night, August 12th, 2023. Awesome. Austin Belkey joins yours truly, Bill Soups, on high up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. Replay Ryan Seneker, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Okay, Austin, most every iRacer began their sim racing oval career in the tiny little legend card on this track. How are these late models going to race here?
They're really exciting, I think, just to watch from a fan standpoint, but it's even better behind the wheel of one of these race cars. Just because ever since we went to these cars, you have to drive them differently, and you really have to be aggressive with them. For a while, we raced those Arc of the Grand National cars. Those ones, you really had to take care of the tires and kind of mind where you were for the first 80 laps of the race, and then make sure you really attacked it in the last 20, or made sure you had something left. Then we went to the super late models, and those were a completely different beast, and we had those for a while just until people started to figure them out. And then we went to these cars, and the level of a step up between the ARCA car to the super late model, it's pretty much twice that jump, which is crazy to say, from the super late model to the regular late model. This car is a lot of fun. It's surprisingly drivable around this small little, I'm almost going to call it a bull ring, because you got walls on either side of you. It's a little bit hard to wrestle it around, but if you drive it just right, you can get that car yacht out a little bit when you get in the corners to make it a more manageable race car to drive.
Our sponsor tonight, as always, is Gargamel's Kitchen, a high-quality food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit them at 2045 South Valencia Street or call Gargamel's Kitchen at 720-707-6178. And snap along with me. Gargamel's Kitchen is the best. Everyone else is just the rest. Quickly, before they start to grid up, let's look at the points. Hey, with no driver making a season debut as Nashville, the number of drivers to have raced at least once this season remains at 30, with 10 having raced in all previous 6 races. J.R. Shepherd has been fast and clean, owning the fewest incident points of any full-time driver. Matt Hoos has podiumed 2 out of the last 3 races. A 13th for Nashville's spotlighted driver Todd Liston made my partner John Hines over a winning wager. Kurt Smith's season-long top 10 streak ended in Nashville. Matt Locomotionowski climbs the spot. Last round was date night for Michael Goodman. Devotion to his wife cost him 4 spots in the standing. Ribeye Joe Snyder leads all full-time drivers in incident points. In search of a top 10 all season, Bruce Pearson finally found one at Nashville. John Wilson did one better with his first top 5. And Joe Segala in 10th led 53 Nashville laps on the way to his season best 7th. All right, the business is out of the way. Let's set for one last point of business we have to do, and that's to give you our grid tonight. Let's run it a row at a time. I'll take the front row. Now, he finished exactly the same amount of laps as Kurt Smith did last round, of like 53 laps down, but Jeffrey Harden gets nod for 15th. He'll be on the pole. He's going to be inside, Austin, of Matt Shanowski.
Yeah, the Butcher of Baton Rouge, Joseph Snyder, rolls off the inside of row number 2. He's got the number 8 car of Jeffrey Kemper starting to his outside in the 4th spot.
Row 3 is populated on the inside by Bruce Pearson, on the outside by Joe Segala.
Row number 4 has got Trey Blum on the inside and John Wilson on the outside. I tell you what, John's getting hot at just the right time, Sue.
Steven Spies starts in 9th position inside of Matt Hoos.
On the inside of the 11th position there, you got J.R. Shepard, multi-time champion in the Bootleg Racing League. Got to be a favorite today, especially starting on the inside. He's got Kurt Smith to his outside, rolling off at 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Lowell Jewell. He's going to be flanked by veteran and the number 26, Scotty Moore.
Fistful of Water driver Bobby Hayes is going to roll off in the 15th spot. He's got Ruben Altice to his outside, rolling off in 16th.
A guy we think is the man to watch in the 14, Kenny Kibbe. He could be quick, but he's got a long way to go to get there. Michael Goodman in the 28 starts 18th, and the last one out there, Mike Allen. 19 cars taking the grid here tonight. Round number 7. This one and 4 more to go. We're going 100 laps, no fast repairs. There is a green-white checker if you need it, and they don't get to take tires. What they're racing on right now is what they got to finish on. So tire conservation, always a concern in any bootleg racing league event.
Hey, what we're really getting, like you mentioned, Sue, I think Kenny Kibbe is one of the guys to beat. Unfortunately, he wasn't here last week, so he's starting so far down in the order, but definitely look for him to at least crack the top 5.
Pace car pulls in, and we'll be going green here in just a minute. Jeffrey Harden in control of the field. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hi-ho! A great jump from Jeffrey Harden as he leads the Stampede down into the first corner. The outside line worked last time. Look at the number 8. We saw it happen on Friday where the outside line worked. Joe Snyder trying to hold off the number 8 of Jeffrey Happy Kemper. Kemper settles into 3rd, the back half of your top 5. That's Bruce Pearson and Joe Segala.
Yeah, Joe Snyder got a really good start there off the start there. Jeffrey Harden got a really good start as well to pull away from the field, but I think Joseph Snyder kind of pipped the best start out of everybody, just the way he was really able to get to the 8 there of Jeffrey Kemper, get to his inside, take away that second position. He looks really hungry for the lead right now, too.
We're looking at the 75 of John Wilson. Am I optimistic when I said maybe the outside line would work, Austin, or is that not going to happen?
Well, it depends on 2 things. It depends on the setup of the car, and it also depends on the tire wear. Right now, these cars are handling the best they're going to all night, so I think you have to be on the bottom for the first 50 laps of this race. The second 50, that top line should really start to come in. So optimistic, no. Early, yes.
We got a little business to take care of that I missed on. Our spotlighted driver tonight is indeed the Butcher of Baton Rouge. That is Joe Snyder, who is racing in second position. Simon and Poindexter, Austin, set the number at 8.5. Bet the under if you think Snyder will do 8th or better. The over for 9th or worse. Right now he's racing in second. What do you think?
I'm going to have to go under. I've seen him be really aggressive on the tires, but I think starting this far up at a place where it's so hard to pass, like a South Boston, I got to take the under.
Let's drop back a spot to Happy Kemper. That's Bruce Pearson now getting underneath of him. Jeffrey trying to hang on to the 8. Oh! Pearson almost got into Kemper, but they get it straightened out. That happened right in front of Joe Segala, who races in 5th.
Yeah, Joe got a little bit too tight there. The kind of push-loose condition. Had so much wheel in the car, he was so tight, he got loose coming off the corner. And just up the road, Jeffrey Kemper's getting really loose. And look at Joe Segala. Sent the car in there to take advantage. He's got to go for a spin onto the apron. No caution because that's off the racing surface. And look at J.R. Shepard. He's taking advantage. Just took one off the Grey Blom.
And Segala backed up right into the Petty Blue Machine of Matt Shinoski. Shinoski glanced off. Still no caution.
Oh, look at Joe. Oh, everybody's going to go right by him. Oh, my gosh. I don't know how that wasn't a caution.
Oh, Segala manages to keep going. Everybody is clean, including the man trying to make history. Let's jump in on the 98 if we can. Oh, no, we're watching the replay there of Shinoski.
Yeah, Matt joined the race a little bit late. Had to start this thing from pit road. That's why he's so far back. You see him get clipped there by Joe. Forced himself up. Oh, there goes the 8 car. Spinning around. We got a caution.
Kemper goes around. He got a little bit of help, I think.
Still wrecking.
From Trey Bloom got him, and then they piled up in front of him. Wilson involved in it. The 21 also involved in it.
Yeah, the 14 car. Kenny Kibbe spun around as well. I think he'll still be on the lead lap. He was able to get that car spun, turn around just in time. Lowell Jewell also taken out in that. I think Kenny's got to let the pace car by. Doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Maybe a little bit on the right side, but should be okay. This is what went down here, Soup, and you're going to see the 8 car come down, and I don't know if he thought he was clear or he just started to get loose, but it looked like Trey Blom had been to the inside the whole time, and this is basically what sets everything off. Is as soon as the 8 car hits the inside wall, he starts to go pinwheeling, collects Trey Blom. You see the 21 car there, Matt, who's having to take evasive action. He gets smacked by the 32 car. Look at Kenny Kibbe on the outside, almost cleared. I think I don't want to say that's a case of ARCA braking, but it did look like he lost it by himself.
He had it, and then the final car in is the number 70 comes in, and I think he's clear. Ruben Altice really rolled it up and got through there. Also getting through was Bobby Hayes. Oh, that was an ugly one. And our thought of the guy might be able to get the win is Kibbe got caught up in it.
Yeah, well, his car should still be drivable. He doesn't have a whole lot of damage on the front end of that car. These cars, with the way they create downforce, it's on the front splitter of the car there, left of your screen from where that car is. You see the yellow tape there. For the most part, it still looks to be pretty much intact, and I would say the fact that part of the bodywork is pulling away a little bit from that right front tire, that should only help him by keeping that right front tire cooler. So it might give him an advantage, and it's really unfortunate that he got that car spun around, and the fact is you run so much brake in the rear end of these cars that when you do need to absolutely stop the car like that, that's not in a racing condition. You set these cars up to race, and that's just trying to stop way too hard all at once, and really caught Kenny off guard.
So help me out here, Austin. On the lead lap is indeed Kibbe and Lowell Jewell. They are tracked behind the pace car. So will they get the wave around? I will. In fact,
right here. Yeah, so lights go out atop the iRacing pace car. That's what tells the entire field that we're going to go green this next time by. You have all the cars now getting waved around. So you're going to see Kenny and both Lowell Jewell. Now they get to go up to the back of the pack, and you need to get on it, but they should be able to catch up to the rear end of the field there so that they're not totally disadvantaged.
15 cars on the lead lap. Okay, we're going to be going green, working lap number 17. Jeffrey Harden again with another good jump. The Butcher of Baton Rouge, our spotlighted driver, number 39, Joe Snyder, tucks into second. Look at J.R. Shepherd work the top side.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he's able to get that much grip up there. I'm not sure if that was taking advantage of Bruce Pearson, maybe checking up to make sure that Joseph Snyder had enough room on the bottom, but J.R. Shepherd continues to really utilize that outside line. I'll be curious to see how well Joe Snyder can hang on, but right now, J.R. is doing a phenomenal job of sticking around up there.
They come out forward with Snyder with a little bit of advantage. Look at the momentum on top, and now Shepherd with about a half-car length lead, but Snyder gets it back as they go through 1 and 2. They are side by side. See how this bathtub's down the back straight. Shepherd pulls ahead, but I don't think he's confident enough to come down in front. Meanwhile, the 22 of Pearson is getting on the back of Snyder. This might be a case of Snyder maybe not having the pace, and Shepherd thought the easiest way around was the top. Because look at this. Pearson saw Shepherd do it. He's going to try it too.
Yeah, I think he was kind of forced to go up there a little bit as well. He started to look, and Kurt there in the 6 car got to his inside, so now Kurt Smith is down to the bottom of underneath the 22 car, Bruce Pearson. Bruce forced to fall back another spot. Now, unfortunately, he's got the 70 car, Ruben Altice, and Ruben is not one of those guys that normally misses the bottom, so we have another caution, Soup.
Segala and a little help from John Wilson on this one. That's not John Wilson's style. That might be a case. Yeah, it might be the case of the tree remembering and the axe forgetting.
Yeah, that's really weird for Kenny to do that. The only thing I can think of, maybe we can ride along with Kenny to see if maybe Joe checked up a little bit, but it's a really weird spot to have Kenny getting into somebody. We're going to ride on board with the 14 car from Nocturnal Sim Racing. This is Kenny Kibbe. Watch the 81 car. Yeah, he just had to check up. I assume he got loose there coming off the corner, and these cars can do that. In order to get all the speed out of the car, Soup, you really need to kind of mash the throttle to get off the corner in time, and if you start to get loose, and Joe's got a good feeling for that, he did spin out earlier, so he's trying to be a lot more careful this time around. He just went to check up, and even the smallest checkup when you're following somebody by a mere inches, it's really hard to avoid getting into the back of them.
You know, a little compliment to Wilson might be a bit of an insult to Kibbe, but I was saying that, boy, that's not Wilson's way, as I misidentified the car, and indeed, that's not the way John Wilson races. I'm not saying Kenny races that way either, but it was surprising to see the 75 doing that. Kibbe now gets it all sorted out. 16 cars on the lead lap. We've had 2 yellows so far. Jeffrey Harden, well, his better half, Brandy, watching from the other room of their house. Your man's been out front for 24 laps as he crosses the start-finish line right now.
Yeah, and these smaller, flatter tracks really pay into Jeffrey's wheelhouse as well. There's a lot of times where if Jeffrey can start up front anywhere, he's going to be a contender for the win, but he's oddly, to me, really fast at these shorter, flatter tracks where you just have to hug the bottom. He's going to be a hard car to pass for JR, but I think JR can do it. But going back to what you were talking about, Soup, about a minute ago, John Wilson being a clean driver, he is definitely one of the cleanest drivers I've ever had the pleasure to race with in the Bootleg Racing League. So very much causing a caution by colliding with another car for John Wilson, definitely not in his wheelhouse.
Well, I tell you, the racing gods are fickle and they have a sense of humor. Last season, J.R. Shepard, he's a 16-time champ in these late models. He took Saturday off, and that afforded Jeffrey Harden a chance to get a championship. Well, Shepard is back, and now the racing gods has put the two champions right next to each other, side by side, as they're going to be working lap number 27. Shepard made the top side work last time. Let's see if he can do it. Maybe a little tougher to do it on Harden than it was to do it on Snyder. Harden with a good jump.
Yeah, especially just because Jeffrey gets to control when the race gets restarted. Although J.R. Shepard should be able to get down to the bottom almost immediately. Yeah, you see Joseph Snyder kind of back off just a little bit, allow him that space. Look at Kurt Smith, though, up on the outside. I think he might be able to get around the 39 car, Joseph Snyder.
Oh no! Snyder leaves him no room and the two get together. Smith comes down and he gets T-boned. It started, the first car to get to him was Mike Allen, and then it was an octopus falling out of a tree. Things going everywhere. I can't tell what's going on.
Oh boy, yeah, that was a humdinger. That was, I'd like to see a replay because it looked like Joe gave Kurt enough room. I don't know if he continued to go up the track. Great camera angle here by Ryan Seneker in the production booth. And yeah, you see Kurt get to his outside. He has more than enough room. And I think maybe Joe Snyder just didn't hear the call or thought he had more room to go up there. Because, you know, as a race car driver, Soup, especially on a short track, you need to maximize, especially your corner exit. And even more than that, your corner entry. Just to make sure you don't wear out the right front tire. And unfortunately for Joe Snyder, I don't think he realized that Kurt Smith was out there.
That is honestly the worst case scenario when you have an incident like that where the two cars bounce down in front of the track soon after going green flag when the cars are all bunched up. There was nowhere for them to go. These cars are tough. They repair. They don't get damaged easily, but we are really pushing the envelope of what these cars will stand for today.
Yeah, we certainly are. These things can take a real beating, but unfortunately, there is a fine line between too much damage and not enough damage to ruin your night. And for a lot of these drivers, it's spending time on pit road to repair your car. You see Kurt Smith down there as well. I think Matt Shanoski, Bobby Hayes was down there on pit road too. So unfortunately, for a lot of these drivers, they have damage. But fortunately, these cars can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Well, the lights are still off the pace car. Let's quickly dial up Jeffrey Harden. We'll see if we can get a couple questions for him here. He's out in front. All right, Jeffrey, the yellow flags are helping you, but you got the big number 98 to the outside. How are you feeling?
I'm hoping for rain here, Soup.
Austin, what do you got?
Yeah, Jeffrey, I was just wondering, how's the car feeling right now? It looked like JR is able to get a pretty decent run on the top side. They a little bit too loose or tight for your liking?
It's still a little tight on entry and a little loose on the exit. Hoping it'll freeze up on entry a little bit so it'll fix the exit.
All right, well, good luck. We'll keep an eye on you.
All right, thanks, Soup.
Let's try something else. A driver we never talked to. We'll do this real quick. Can we call up the number 59 of Mike Allen? I'm not sure he was on our interview list or not, but he is up 14 positions. Mike Allen at Soup here. Do you got a copy? Yeah, it's too bad. We never got to talk to Mike before. He's having a great run. I wanted to see how he was feeling. Probably just as well. They start to double up right now.
Yeah, Mike's got to be feeling great. I mean, look at that 59 car. He's already up into the 6th position, and that's part of just laying back, kind of have a sixth sense of when wrecks are going to happen, and Mike's just been really good at that tonight.
A baker's dozen worth of cars still on the lead lap, the last one being Steven Spies in 13th. Looks like we've lost two drivers so far, Jeffrey Kemper and Trey Bloom. We're going to be going green. Jeffrey Harden with the jump. Once again, he gets the best of it. Let's see what the 22 of Bruce Pierce can do. Pearson has been hot of late in the season. Let's see if he can hold off the number 98. Not going to happen as JR pulls away.
Yeah, car's just a little bit...
Oh, no, we got another big one. Oh, my goodness. Too many cars to count. Let's see if we can find the initial spot. Again, I believe it was Joe Snyder getting into it with the 59 of Mike Allen.
Yeah, let's see this. They're coming off the corner here. This is down the backstretch, and I think that was Mike Allen coming up the track there, Soup. I think Mike did the same thing to Joe that Joe just did to Kurt. We'll see if we can get a replay. Maybe, Ryan, if we could get one of those aerial shots from a blimp or a helicopter like you had before. And, look at Kurt Smith and John Wilson.
They just keep, it's basically the Blues Brothers movie here.
Yeah, so you're going to see it right here. Yeah, Mike Allen just kept coming up the track like Joe Snyder wasn't there, and that's what set this whole thing off. And boy, I don't think John Wilson or Kurt Smith were on the brakes as much as they thought they needed to, given, the track was open when they started to slow down, and boy, was it blocked by the time they got there.
We always look for one car that got through. Nobody got through. Maybe Joe Segala was the farthest one back, hit the brakes, and I don't think he even got through. The road was blocked, but at least he didn't get into anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't count if you have to stop, Soup. You're not getting through the wreck, you're getting through the parking lot at that point.
Well, that's good news for Jeffrey Harden.
Yeah, the more laps we can complete under caution, the less he has to hold off J.R. Shepard. And the way these cars are driving, especially being loose on exit, it is more of a driver's car. And there's not a driver better in the field than J.R. Shepard at driving a loose car, with the exception of Kenny Kibbe. But I think you called it there, Soup. I think Kenny's been in pretty much every single wreck here.
All right, we're pushing our luck here, calling drivers that I'm not sure are on the list or not. Let's see if we can dial up the 70 of Ruben Altice. He's up 12 positions, racing in 4th right now. Let's see if we got him. Ruben Altice at Soup, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I got you.
You happy with the way things are going? You're ahead of the chaos, at least.
Yeah, it's always a good thing there. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Ruben,
go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, on these restarts here, you're going to be on the outside for this one, running into 4th position. Would you rather be on the inside or the outside, given how the track is handling and how these cars are set up tonight?
I'd a whole lot rather be on the inside.
All right, brother. Appreciate your honesty. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Ruben.
Yes, sir, anytime.
Yeah, good idea to bring him up here, Soup. It's not very often you get to talk to Ruben Altice, especially in the middle of the broadcast.
Everybody's having a good run. I think we might have been distracting him a little bit there as we say, hey guys, I'm in 4th place as we go green in again. Jeffrey Harden with another good jump. He has led all 38 laps of this race so far. Look at Pearson in the 22. He looks real good. Altice, we just talked to, stuck on the outside.
Look at Shepard. He's all over the 36 car at Jeffrey Harden. He's on the attack right now. I think JR kind of realizes we're having a lot of cautions. He doesn't want to have to run his luck here with somebody in the 3rd position getting a good restart. Look at him. He's going to do the over-under. We'll see if he gets a big run. He's going to go to the outside of Jeffrey Harden. He's going to hold it on up top.
He takes that wide line through the corners and gets the car going straight a lot sooner. Harden credited with leading that lap, but I don't know if it's going to be the same next time around. They are side by side down the back straight. It's the 36 on the inside, the number 98 on the outside. The last two champions battling at it. Look at the confidence these guys have in each other. They leave each other just enough room. That time Harden gets credited with leading the lap. Shepard not giving up.
Oh, man, Jeffrey's going to get really loose on corner exit that time. J.R. Shepard's going to have the advantage. I'll tell you what, though, the more Jeffrey Harden keeps throwing the car, especially into the center of the corner, it's been working out for him, but it's going to overheat his tires, and he's going to abuse them way too quick.
Is Harden in a worse position tire-wise? Is Shepard doing better on the outside line, not working him in his heart?
I think so, yeah, right now, just because the way this car is loose, especially on corner exit. It being tight on entrance, I'm not quite sure, but especially loose on exit. I mean, look at how much Jeffrey Harden's car is yawing out. J.R. Shepard going to clear himself into the lead, but I like the respect he showed. He didn't immediately cut back down the track. He gave Jeffrey all the opportunity to continue to race side by side. He is going to take the bottom this time by, and he's going to try to check out. Yeah, you can see all the detriment that did to Harden's tires. He continues to be loose, especially going into, but mostly on exit of the corner.
Boy, Austin, you can really see what happens when Harden got the car sideways there. He lost all of his momentum on corner exit, and Shepard was able to finish the pass. Now, we'll stay up front as Pearson, after Harden works so hard, maybe Pearson wants to capitalize when those tires are not so happy on the 36.
Yeah, Bruce has been, fortunately for him, in a position where he can kind of just get spots without having to work too hard for him. And that's the kind of laid-back personality that Bruce has in these races, especially with these race cars in particular. He's just been having a really good time. Of course, I say that. He tries to get a little bit too low there on corner exit, and that's just him trying to yaw the car out. Get a little bit extra wedge in that thing, especially on corner exit. Now he's going to be under attack from Ruben Altice.
We'll watch that battle for third. While that's going on, I'll just tell you we've lost 3 drivers. Mike Allen, Bobby Hayes, and Jeffrey Happy Kemper have all called it an early night. Still out there is Trey Bloom in 16th position, hoping to vulture one more spot so he can start on the pole for round number 8. As we look right now at Pearson, who is in the head of Ruben Altis that we interviewed during the yellow flag. And my goodness, somehow the 31 of Matt Shinosky is in 5th place. Seems like he's been involved in every one of those incidents, but the car still going straight.
Yeah, I'm really surprised the car is driving this well for him, given what happened on lap number 1 or 2, when we saw Joe Segala back up the track and kind of collect there, forcing the Shinosky car into the outside wall. But he's had one heck of a recovery.
As we look at Shinosky trying to be run down by Raul Ju, that's a battle for 5th position. I want to just go ahead and talk about what JR has been able to accomplish so far. Shepard has won 6 races, now is well on the way to winning his 7th. But look at all the attrition, all the nonsense that was going on back there, Austin. And JR has to start every race in 13th, 14th, 15th position. Somehow, not only is he fast, but he manages to be lucky or able to avoid trouble.
Well, it's just like what Richard Petty always said, Soup. I'd rather be lucky than good, and sometimes there is no driver that has more luck than J.R. Shepard. And there's times like this where I like to think of, I don't know if it was Matt Thunhorst or Justin Morton, old BRLers that came up with the key there is the Golden Horseshoe Award. Almost always goes to J.R. Shepard because he just seems to luck out in a lot of these weird situations where he's just in the right place at the right time. But it isn't always that way for J.R., let me tell you.
Yeah, I heard Thunder say that Shepard had a lucky horseshoe stuck in an orifice that I cannot mention. So, yeah, he seems to have both skill and speed. I want to keep
he
my
really
job
did.
there.
Look at Lowell Jewell. He's really gotten a lot closer to the back end of Matt Shinosky here in the 31 machine. He continues to look down to the inside, and more importantly for him, Matt Shinosky he's been failing to make it all the way down to the apron the last couple laps. Of course, as soon as we go to ride on board with Lowell Jewell, so we can see the 31 car Shinosky, you just see that separation. He's been having a really hard time getting back down to the apron. It seems like he's figured something out for right now, so we might see him pull away from this 31 car and start to catch up to the 70.
It's a nice 4-car battle because right behind Lowell Jewell is Steven Spies, who seems to be quick. Donnie Moore has got the car going good, although he seems to be wrestling it a bit.
Yeah, Donnie's car, he's just suffering from all the damage he's had earlier in the race. And unfortunately for Donnie, the damage on his car is at pretty much the worst areas where you want to have it happen. You see his nose there, it's very much bent in right where the radiator would be. Not that that's causing him to overheat, but that's given up a lot of downforce on the front end of that race car. So for Donnie, instead of just battling a tight race car like everybody else, he's battling an extremely tight race car. And what that means, if you, in case you're at home and don't know, the car just won't turn. He goes into the corner and that car wants to go straight up towards the outside wall. So he's really been having to wrestle this race car, and he's doing a phenomenal job considering he's still running in the 8th position, and he's attacking the 55 of Steven Spies.
Steven Spies, very successful sim racer, and also I mentioned it last night in the super late model event, but he's coming off the first ever win in the Skinner Creek Poker Tournament as he picked up first place right there. Donnie Moore was also in that one as well. Moore to the inside. I think Moore has he's got a full house there against the pair of threes, and Moore gets that position.
Yeah,
he's
look
to
at
bring
the
along
front end.
Goodman. Goodman's a lap down. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at the front end of the 55 car. I think the only buddy on the racetrack, the only other person out on the racetrack with a more beat-up car than Donnie right now is Steven Spies. As much as I said Donnie's car is hurting him, I think Steven Spies has been driving a more injured race car, and he's just been putting up with it for a while. I think his tires have finally decided to give out all the grip they had on that 55. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. I'll be curious to see if Matt, who is right now, he's about 7 seconds behind the 55 car. We'll see if he catches up to him in the next maybe 35 or so laps.
I want to talk about 2 drivers. One of them's 10 laps down, one of them's 13 laps down. We're going to first start with John Wilson, the 75. Well, he races in 15th position right now. You let this guy start on the pole, you might have something to worry about come next round. But the other guy to watch out is Trey Bloom. He is literally 13 laps down. He's hoping, he's not going to be able to catch anybody on the track, but he's hoping to vulture a position. Let's say on Bloom right now, he's about to go 14 laps down as Shepard comes up behind him. Look at Bloom, does a good job of it. Lifting and letting the 98 go.
Right. Well, part of that, is trying to, like you said, vulture some points or some positions off everybody else. Every position is worth a point in the championship standings, and it is kind of a pride thing to finish as high in the championship points as a season-long championship like we have here. It's a pride thing, right, to do that, firstly. But secondly, you've cleared out your calendar tonight to race. It's Saturday night. It's one of the biggest, nights of the week, the entire weekend. So you block off your calendar. It's just fun to drive race cars on a racetrack with your friends, and that's what the bootleg racing is. It's just a bunch of friends out here on the racetrack.
And when you watch the broadcast back afterwards, you get to hear Soup and Austin talk a little bit about you. So, Trey Bloom, good on you for staying out there. And you're in 16th, one spot away from picking up pole position next time around.
Bruce Pearson continues to get hounded here by the 70 car Ruben Altis, but for as much as he hasn't been able to get caught up by the 70 car, he hasn't really been getting a whole lot closer to the 36 of Jeffrey Harden. And look at Harden's car, especially right now, Soup. He's gotten the thing to look a lot calmer. It still looks a little bit on edge, especially in the center of the corner, but he's been doing a lot better job of just having to drive that thing in a straighter line. And when I say that, it's not getting his yacht out on corner exit.
It might be because the 36 had been out front and away from all the chaos going on behind that so many other cars have suffered from. But right now, I would give Jeffrey the best of the rest award. He doesn't have much for Shepard. But stick with us because we've seen tires fall off, and when they do fall off, Shepard could come back to the pack. But I think that's wishful thinking as far as drama goes. But Harden having a quality race right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that JR has pretty much gapped the field by 2 seconds and the person leading the pack right now is Jeffrey Harden really goes to show he's the best of the rest. And you talk about him, winning that points championship as you see Donnie Moore and Steven Spies fighting back over it. I think Steven finally decided, I don't know if Donnie's really that much faster than me. He'd like to go get that position back. Further up the field, you got Lowell Jewell and Matt Shanoski. Shanoski, I think, just got around the Lowell Jewell machine to put himself in the 5th spot.
This is a good one, but the 20 is not surrendering Casper here. He continues to race on, hoping to get back around Shanoski. Shanoski started outside of row 1, has been racing up front for most of it.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job. You say he started to the outside of row 1, Soup. He actually missed the start of the race, so he had to start the pit road. And that's why you saw him at the back of the field, because I sat there and thought, well, yeah, he did grid up in second, but he should have. He just missed the start of the race, so it kind of put everybody else up one more position. So that's why Matt's had the kind of abysmal run, if you think about it, considering he should have started in second, but he actually started in 20th place or so.
Thanks for catching that, because I looked at that and I thought, that doesn't make sense to me. Shanoski wasn't up there in front. That good catch on that. But right now, he's got his mirrors full of Lowell Jewell. Now, the car back behind him is Michael Goodman. He's in 14th position. That's not really for a spot, but he's back there having a good view of it.
Yeah, and basically Goodman's in the position where he's essentially, he's not running for the lucky dog, so he's just out there trying to go as fast as possible to make sure he doesn't go down another lap to J.R. Shepard. And in this position, it's perfectly fine to be right on the tail end of the guy who's in front of you, but you can't go up there and pass him because he's racing another car. If he wants to pull over and give you that track position, you can take it, but you can't be up there pestering the lead lap guys. After all, they're still in the race. You're kind of quote-unquote out of it.
But I tell you what he does do. He gives us a great view. Let's go on board with Goodman, what we like to call the popcorn position, because he has a great view of Lowell Jewell trying to find a way around Shanoski.
Yeah, you're going to see right here.
Up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lowell Jewell he's entering the corner higher to try and exit lower and get a good run down the straightaway, basically by applying the power before Matt Shanoski. Matt Shanoski, seeing this, starts to run the same line that Lowell Jewell would. He's going to open the door right here for Lowell Jewell. Let's see if Lowell can get the position or if Matt can hang tougher on the outside. It looks like Matt's just going to pull off to allow Lowell Jewell to get that spot. Oh, they're going to continue fighting. A little bit of touchy-touchy there between the Shanoski and the Jewell cars.
They get it worked out. Now, there is a battle for position, and that is the 26 of Donnie Moore right behind Goodman. Moore's hoping that Goodman can get through there, even though Goodman's not in the battle. He's several laps down. But Moore would like to follow him through and see if he can pick up that position on Shanoski. There is room for Matt to come down if he wants it. I don't think he feels confident enough to do it. So that gives time for Donnie Moore to get in there. And also, Steven Spies is in this battle. So we have a nice battle. Shanoski racing in 6th. Well, now in 7th. But he comes off of 4. Now he's back to 6th again.
Yeah, best case scenario for Donnie Moore right there, because he just made sure that he could follow Mike Goodman through that hole there that he created up underneath Matt Shinaski. And as a race car driver, as soon as you see the thing open, you're throwing the car into the corner as fast as you can and hoping it sticks so you can get to the inside of that guy, because the inside right now is so much more powerful than the outside line. Matt Shinaski continues to get freight trained there by the number 55 of Steven Spies, so he's going to find himself in the 8th position.
It was not long ago that Shinoski was racing in 5th, but then Jewell got around him, Moore got around him, Spies got around him. Now there he is back in 8th.
Currently the closest two cars, Soup, out on the racetrack, I've been watching this battle out of the corner of my eye, is between the number 22 car of Bruce Pearson and the number 70 machine of Ruben Altice. Both of these guys have kind of lost sight of Jeffrey Harden. He's used that, a pole starting position, not having to use his tires. He's started to run away from these guys, and both those two cars, they've started to gap, in fact, the number 20 machine of Lowell Jewell, so they've continued to pull away from him. So everybody kind of forming their own islands, with the exception of these two drivers up in the top 5. They've continued to stick right next to each other.
It's funny. I'd like to get in the head. I wish we could get an interview with them right now of Pearson and Altice. Both of these guys in 3rd and 4th position. This is a great finish for them.
Oh, I can tell you what they're thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell you exactly what they're thinking, Sue. Basically, Bruce is like, come on, can I just go faster than you? Would you at least make a mistake so I can pull away? And poor Ruben Altice is thinking, this guy continues to park it down on the bottom of the racetrack, and I can barely get a run. I wish this guy would just slip up enough for me to get to his inside. And that's the duality of the situation. And for Ruben Altice, he's getting kind of a taste of his own medicine. He's one of the best guys at being hard to pass on these super bottom flat racetracks, or super bottom down at flat racetracks. Ruben's really good at just nailing the bottom of the track every time.
You can see Altice trying to find alternative lines as he takes wide entrances in and gets it wide through the middle of the corner, tries to get the car going straight. Cannot get it done. Both these guys would hate to have it go south and ruin what would be a 3rd and 4th place finish for one or the other. Want to make sure that they both get to the checker flag going straight. And that checker flag not far away as we are working lap 96 for J.R. Shepherd. 97, he crosses the line right now.
Yeah, and it's weird that you say, well, why is the fight for 3rd position so much important than every other one? And it's basically, if you're in that 4th position, you want to get an interview, you want to finish on the podium, right? So it's a huge gap from finishing from 4th to 3rd, just as much as it doesn't make any sense to someone who's not a race car driver either, from 6th to 5th or from 11th to 10th. It's those kind of key mark. Oh, look at Kurt Smith going around. This might throw the caution.
Oh, it does. Holy moly, a monkey wrench has been thrown into J.R. Shepherd's machinery.
Checker time, baby.
Oh, he was so close as we were working lap number 99 right now. I don't honestly think he has much to worry about, but it's more to worry about than a few minutes ago.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got a couple things to worry about. The cat's not fully out of this bag. The race isn't over yet. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and we have a green-white checker before she's allowed to sing. There's a couple things that can happen to J.R. Shepherd, right? I'll knock on wood for J.R. Basically, one of them, he misses a shift going up to the gears. That's going to hand the win over to, if not Jeffrey Harden, maybe Bruce Pearson starting on the inside. Maybe Jeffrey gets down to the bottom like he wants to do to try and protect that 2nd position. He doesn't want to get pipped like what Todd Liston did to me when we were at, what was that, the bull ring, I think. I was in 2nd position. It was mine. Green-white checker come out. Bottom is dominant. Todd took the spot, so Jeffrey doesn't want to lose that 2nd spot there to Bruce Pearson. He might slip into the bottom, go in there a little bit too hot, make a connection there with J.R. Shepherd, force him up out of the groove. So there's still a lot of stuff that can happen, but it's pretty rare that it happens in a league full of as respectful drivers as this.
Working lap number 101. Let's dial up Lowell Jewell. He's in 5th with visions of maybe a podium if things go south in front of him. Lowell Jewell, it's soup. You have enough fuel to get to the end, baby?
I got plenty of fuel, baby.
Okay, if things go south in front of you, maybe vulture a podium here, huh?
Yeah, I'll probably get rear-ended.
Awesome.
Well, we know you got plenty of fuel, but do you have any tricks up your sleeve to maybe get you 2 more spots, maybe get a chance to talk to Soup even after the race in the interview booth?
I don't know, but that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? I got some tires left, so we'll see what happens.
All right, best of luck, buddy.
Oh, always fun to talk to the boss man. Okay, well, I got to do one of these in the, I believe in the super late model series. I haven't done one here in the late model. So here we are working lap number 102. Apparently fuel's not an issue for anybody. They're going to double up right now.
We fill up these cars with more than enough fuel, and I think we had a green-white checkered at the bull ring, and it basically just, it resets every single driver. And if you're on the outside, at least here, you do have a chance at holding on to the position. So there might be a shot that Jeffrey Harden gets a really good restart and just holds on to the outside. We've seen JR pass probably half the cars he's passed on the top side, so let's see what Harden can do.
That was right. We had it at the bull ring. I think he might have been with you. There's a great jump from Shepard. He's out in front. He gets into the corner clean. Harden able to tuck into second. The battle is back for third. Altisa stuck on the outside. We talked to Lowell Jewell. He has visions of maybe getting to the podium. If he can get inside of Altis, that'll be fourth position. Look at the 70. Continue to drive up there. The battle is farther back. Meanwhile, coming across the line is Shepard. He's having it all his way. Working lap number 105. I think, help me out here. We get the white flag this time around. Am I correct on that, Austin? White flag?
Yeah, white flag is out. They're coming to the checkered.
He won round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, round 6. He wins round 7 in a row for J.R. Shepard. Jeffrey Harden goes ahead and picks up 7. Ruben Altis was able to get the best of Bruce Pearson in that battle. Altis is going to finish third. Oh, my.
That was a really tight battle between the two cars, the 22 and the 70, and man, that was a nail-biter of a finish, Sue.
All right, the racing is over here. I know this for sure because everyone's pulled in. We're going slow because we're on lap number 106, but our broadcast is not done. We'll take a short break. We'll come back, run down the finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
Chuckles, I'm in danger. 250 can possibly go to the outside. He does go to the outside of Ricky Harden. Tries a slide draft him. Harden goes up the track. Now back down to the bottom. Gets a huge push from Tommy Ryan at the start finish. It's going to be Thomas George.
Running the high line, trying to make that
got
pass.
Loose off turn 4.
In the grass goes the 6 car, and they were side by side, 2 by 2 here.
Scott Eckler winning the last race of the season and the championship.
Jeff Ford definitely getting the championship for season 2.
Give it up for Thomas George, winning the race and the championship. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick.
Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and VGN's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, sponsored by, who else? Gargamel's Kitchen. All right, the racing is done. Let's give you the finishing order right now. He started in 11th position. He got far enough up to avoid all the chaos going on behind him. It took him a while to get there, but he led the final 63 laps. We're talking about J.R. Shepard. He's got 7 wins in a row. 4 more to go for the elusive and unthinkable perfect season. Jeffrey Harden started on the pole, raced no farther back than second the entire night, and he wins the Best of the Rest award. Ruben Ortiz in a great battle with Bruce Pearson got the best of that for the final podium position. Pearson will have to settle for fourth. Lowell Jewell will get fifth. The back half of your top 10, Donnie Moore, Steven Spies, Matt Lokomotionowski. Ninth position is Matt Hoos, and the first car 2 laps down is Kenny Kitty.
Yeah, coming home in 11th place, Soup was your Soup of the day. You said the Poindexters there in the lab came up with an over-under of, I think, either 8th or 9th place. I picked the under, 50-50 chance, and I'm always wrong. You got Joe Segala coming home in the 12th position. Michael Goodman, 13th position. Kurt Smith, unfortunately, just in a lot of accidents. He'll come home in the 14th position. John Wilson didn't put a wheel wrong all day of his own accord. He'll come home 10 laps down in 15th with Trey Blum in 16th. Mike Allen, 17th. Bobby Hayes and Jeffrey Kemper round out your 19-car field.
John Wilson on the pole for next round. Trey Bloom tried his very best to get to that 15th spot. Wasn't going to happen. With that said, we're going to now talk to our podium finishers. We'll go ahead and dial up J.R. Shepard. J.R., oh my goodness, 7 in a row. I think you started in 11th. Was any of the stuff in front of you, or were you ahead of all the nonsense the whole race?
I was pretty lucky there, Soup, that most of it happened behind me. So, yeah, that's the stuff I talked about last night in the interview, was just, how treacherous this track is, just because it's so narrow. You got a wall on the inside and the outside that are very, very close together. Not many places you can go. So definitely some big pileups that took place, and took a lot of good cars out of contention. So, sometimes you got to have a lot of luck to win these things, and luck definitely played a part tonight and allowed me to get closer to the front early.
Now, I know when the late yellow came out, you were indeed going to start from the front spot there, so probably not a lot to worry about. But certainly, that late yellow is something you didn't need to see.
Yeah, I didn't want to see it at all. I just wanted to get the race over with, to be honest with you, and was kind of in a rhythm and having fun with the car. It was starting to get a little bit loose, which is not something that we get to do a whole lot in these races at BRL. So I was really enjoying it, and trying to chase down that lap traffic. It's been a struggle this year, lap traffic, so I was trying to be a little bit relentless there and go after them.
All right, 7 in a row, 4 more to go. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. I think Kenny's starting toward the front, and so is Michael Goodman. So a lot of good cars starting up front next week. But we'll see what we can do. And just thanks to Bootleg Racing League tonight for giving us a place to run. Enjoyable place to come out to. Our longtime title sponsor, Gargamel's Kitchen, for being there for so many seasons. Appreciate them. My team, Different Path Motorsports, and of course everything that you guys are doing up in the Virtual Grip Network, guys. We appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks a lot. 7 in a row for J.R. Shepard, as in quest of the perfect season. All right, we talked to a 16-time champion. Now I think Austin has caught up to the defending champ, Jeffrey Harden.
Yeah, I sure have. Jeffrey, you gave it everything you could there. At least you led the majority of the race. I think it took you until like lap 50 or 60 until JR finally got by. And even then, you did a well of a job to hang on to the car.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I'm trying to stay in front of JR. I mean, I probably had better odds beating Usain Bolt in the foot race for wearing flip-flops. But, at least I could stay in front of everybody else.
That was an incredible analogy, Jeffrey. I'll have to remember that for the next time I'm trying to race JR. But you mentioned that the car was kind of tight on entry and especially loose on exit for a while there. It looked like you were going to continue to tumble down the field, because racing side by side with JR, you really wore out your tires there when you chose the bottom and made him go around the top side. If you could do it again, would you have given him the bottom and just tried to hold your best on the top there?
No, I'm no good up at the top. I'd have fallen all the way to the back. So, I tried to keep him up top as long as I could. Hope another caution would come out, and maybe I could just keep him there and hope for another caution. I mean, another 15, 20 cautions, I think I had it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think you would have had it in the bag, too, because you were nailing all the restarts and stuff. But, Jeffrey, before I let you go, the floor is yours, man. Who makes it possible for this 36 crew?
Always got to thank my beautiful wife. Thank my brothers out there for watching me. Thank you guys up in the booth and Loaf for putting on the league. And always got to thank the sponsors out there. We love our sponsors here.
We certainly do. Soup, that was Jeffrey Harden finishes in the second position, and I think you've now caught up with the number 70 car. Ruben Altis barely pipped the 22 car, Bruce Pearson, for the third spot.
Ruben, great battle. We watched it as you were in there with Pearson for the last probably 15, 20 laps. You were able to get that spot thanks to the green-white checker.
Yes, sir. That was fun. That was quite a show there. I thought he had me at the end. That was tight. Man, that was fun.
You've been racing in the Bootleg Racing League for a long time, yeah?
Yeah, it's been several years now, probably 4 or 5.
Tell me a little bit about what's on the hood. Shively Electric? What is this?
Shively Electric. That's a local company in Rocky Mount, Virginia. A good friend of mine. Think the world of him, and just put him on there to get him some publicity.
Well, if you're in, where do you hail from? Where was that again?
He's out of Rocky Mount, and I'm out of Ferrum, Virginia.
Well, if you're up in that area and you need yourself some electric work done, well, now you know where to go. Tell us a little. We don't get to interview much. Tell you what do you do? Are you married? What do you do on the weekends? What's your story?
I've been married about 20 years now. I work at Ferrum College. Been there for 39 years. Love going to races, and that's fishing and stuff like that.
If you had your choice, what is your favorite iRacing car? What is your go-to iRacing car where you're the most competitive?
Probably street stock. I love street stock. That's the reason I got into this stuff to start with.
You know what? I've asked that question many times. You'd be surprised how many answers come back street stock. Ruben is so great. I'm glad we had the opportunity to talk to you. Congratulations on a good race tonight, man.
Hey, thank y'all, and I want to thank Gargamel's Kitchen and Lowell at the BRL and you guys for broadcasting every week.
And the rule is here, you can't mention your wife without giving us the name. So what's the girl's name?
Mary.
Mary Ann, all right. That's good, because I'm not a Ginger fan. You went the right direction on that one, man. Congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, here we go. That'll do it for us. Well, wait a minute. We're not quite done, because you want to stick around for watch Soup screw up the ending here. We'd like to thank all the good guys at Gargamel's Kitchen. They're a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in the Mile High City. That's Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. You can visit their office at 2045 South of Valencia Street or give them a call at 720-707-6178. Hey, if you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, now how could you not? We had Austin Belkey with us. Then you want to turn back in next week. I don't think Austin will be with me, but we'll be back. We're going to Southern National Speedway. That's going to be round 8, and you can watch J.R. Shepherd continue his quest for the perfect season. But before then, if you liked the guy sitting next to me in the booth, you get to hear him talk a lot more because I won't be hogging the mic because he's the lead commentator for the Pretty Good Racing League. That's going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Austin, what are they doing? Are they racing the road course there, or are they going around in the oval?
Actually, they pulled the head out of the bag on this one, Soup. They're actually going to Iowa. They just released that a couple hours ago. We're actually going to Iowa. Complete change of schedule. I love Iowa. It's going to be a fantastic race, so tune in for that on Tuesday. Oh, I like that. I know you're not going to be racing the road course at Iowa, so check that out. But that broadcast, this broadcast, and any other broadcast you may have seen have been and will be and are a product of the Virtual Grip Network. So with that said, we're going to put a lock on the gate, and until next time, have fun storming the castle.